do you always have to feel like you have to provide and you always have to keep uploading when you don't want to?
I used to feel that way.
She's with me.
Yeah.
So anybody who's attracted to her, like, they can't have her, and I know that already. So
No, Ibraheem, we focus better if we smoke weed. We do much better. No, weed makes you happy when you're not supposed to be happy. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I'm Morgan. I'm Morgan Frey from MorgsVsTheWorld on TikTok and Instagram. We are date idea influencers, and yeah.
Okay.
yeah, I'm Chauncey. I'm the other half of that.
The other half of that. Okay, so what made you guys start all this? Because I've seen your guys' videos. I've seen the places that you guys go to. I've been, not gonna say following you for a long time, but I've seen everything that you guys have been doing. So what made you guys start?
Yeah, so well, really, it was an accident, to be completely honest.
It was an accident?
Yeah, it was an accident. She had done like a collab with, like, because her family owns businesses. They have a restaurant, and they did a collab with like this arcade that was near the area. Basically, they were partnering to like give out free like game cards or something like that.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, and she had made the video based on them when they went to like check it out and stuff, and just posted it, called it a date idea, and it blew up. And then after that, she just was like, babe, we gotta, take this opportunity. Like, people are loving it. So we kind of just started doing it after that. She already had like this long list of stuff that she wanted to do and check out in the area, because she wasn't originally from here.
Okay.
Yeah, from California.
Yeah, so when she moved out here, she like made this huge long list, and then this was her opportunity to finally put that list into action. So that's what we did.
Yeah.
Okay. And then how long have you guys been together, if you don't mind me asking?
3 years.
3 years. Okay,
now,
so this social media thing started
After the fact, yeah.
Okay.
A year in?
A year, yeah, like a year into our relationship.
Yeah.
Okay, so on my podcast, and I do get backlash for this all the time, but I would say I'm definitely against social media in all types of aspects. I don't like social media whatsoever. I try to stay away from it.
Yeah.
And so how do you guys feel about staying on social media and just being kind of consumed by social media? How do you guys go about that?
I think it's pretty simple for us, because we're both very like down to earth. So I was, mentioning earlier that like we don't look at numbers the same way that other people do. Like, I know a lot of times like my friends are telling me like, oh my God, Morgan, like you have this many followers, like you're getting this many followers every single day. And I'm like, it's just another day for like, I'm trying to go to the movies. Like, I don't care. Like, it's just not something I think about. So I think with both of us being very grounded in ourselves, like, we don't really like register social media the same way either. You look like you're going to say something.
No, I'm just watching.
Oh, okay. So I think like it doesn't really affect us as a couple. We're both like very outgoing, I think like in general. And like we also just love to do like random crazy crap. So outside of social media, like we would still do all of this anyways. So it's just really easy to just pick up a phone, record it, and then post that as well.
Okay, I see exactly what you're saying. What about you? How do you
Basically, it's really just us capturing
He's had
the
something
memory.
to say, by the way, the whole time. He was waiting for this.
Literally.
It's basically just us really capturing the memory at the end of the day, and we're just really sharing it with people. And we honestly on social media, when we go on, for the most part, people aren't honest. So we just are bringing our honest opinion to light at the end of the day, and like that's really all we see it as, is we're just sharing our honest opinion and our memories of what we've done together.
Yeah. Okay, and out of all the places that you've been to, which one is your favorite?
I think we have two different ones. You can go first.
You guys have discussed this before.
We get asked a lot of times. Yeah. We've been to a lot of countries together.
It depends. Is this domestic or?
Let's do locations, as in food places.
Oh, okay.
For me personally, I liked Filomena the most.
Okay. Never heard about it. I'll be
Northwest. It's in Georgetown.
It's like Italian spot.
Yeah, Italian spot. Food is really good, but what I like the most is they always have themed decorations for whatever the season or holiday may be. So especially for like the first time we went was in the Halloween season.
We love Halloween.
And yeah, that's like our season. So like they just had a whole bunch of like spooky decorations around witches flying their brooms, and it was really, really nice. And we went again around Christmas time recently, and same thing, just straight Christmas decorations decked out, and they do that, like I said, for like pretty much all of their holidays and stuff. So that's my main reason for liking them.
Okay.
Yeah. I like Delania. It's like I think it's Mexican. I don't want to say that though. I'll just say Latin in general.
Okay.
Super cool vibes, really nice spot. I think he said it was like Northeast. I don't know. It's DC for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, delicious food. Service is cool, and drinks are phenomenal. So.
Okay. Okay. And this is your top one places.
Yeah.
Okay. And then for somebody who wants to start social media, who wants to start on TikTok, what kind of tips do you guys recommend for them?
Check out what you're missing on social media. Like, so what you don't currently see on social media that you're like yearning for, you want to see, and then create that content, because just like you're missing it, somebody else is missing it as well. And that's what they want to see. So why don't you do it? And also do like what's organic to yourself. I know when we started, we were kind of like, you know, everybody wants us to go here, so let's go there. Or like everybody wants us to present this, so let's do it. And then like we started doing that, and then we started hating social media because we're like, we're not doing it for us anymore.
Yep.
So now I changed it to, I only present content that I want. Like if somebody tells me to go to a club, I don't go to clubs normally, so I'm not going to do that. I love animals though, so I will post any animal content that I want. Yeah, so it's just like sticking true to what you actually like to do, or else you're going to end up hating it, and then it's just not going to work out for you.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with that. At the end of the day, I would say you have to do a lot of comparative research as well. So like she said, you want to find what you're not seeing, but you also want to see what you like in other people's content, and like kind of find the balance between those two things, and then that's the content that's going to work for you ultimately in the end.
And you always have to feel like you have to provide, and you always have to keep uploading when you don't want to.
I used to feel that way. I'm very like nonchalant with social media now because, like I said, I really want to make sure that like my mental health is in the forefront, and it was kind of like eating me alive, feeling the need to post all the time and make this content or whatever. And because I have to do voiceovers, you could hear it in my voice, and you could like tell when I'm just not enjoying what I'm doing. So now I think I post like one time a week, and that's pretty much good enough for me. So.
1 time a week on all social platforms.
Yeah, pretty much. I used to do like 3 times a week, or like even 4 times a week.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm doing what I want now.
Which is understandable, and then
which it's definitely nice to see the change too, because you know, personally, she does a lot of the editing work and stuff, so it was I would say it was more stressful on her for a while there, and like I could see it affecting her too. So it's really nice to see the change, you know, when she finally decided like, I don't have to stress about it so much, you know, I'm gonna post when I want, you know, I know what my content is gonna bring to these people. So it's really nice to see that change. But one thing that I will say is like, you definitely have to be careful with like the brand deals that you're accepting too, because stuff like that is what's gonna force your hand in posting when maybe you're not willing to post yet, but you kind of, you know, you signed this contract, so you have to make it happen kind of thing. So I would say that that's one thing that you definitely want to be careful about when you are like looking for brand deals and stuff, is plan around that before making any, you know, solid decisions with that company, because otherwise you're going to be, you know, stuck in this rut where you're like, crap, shit, I got to post this now. I have all this other stuff that I was planning on posting, but now I can't because I signed this contract. So you just have to be really careful when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Okay, I see. And you guys don't go clubbing at all, you said. How do you feel about that?
No, I mean,
you guys ever been to Miami? I asked this question a lot. Have you guys ever been to Miami?
Yeah, not together.
She has, not me.
Okay, okay. And you don't like the club life whatsoever, right?
I did a lot of like, everything that I was supposed to do probably in my 20s, I did like my teenage years. So kind of like got out of it really early on. But we always go on vacation. Like same thing with drinking. We don't drink at home, but like if we're on vacation, like we're fucked up the whole time. So it's just, it's like a different environment. Depends on like where we're at.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then obviously when you're on vacation too, the experience is going to be a little different, you know, outside of a domestic, you know, club scene, you know, when you're in a whole different country now, the club scene is going to be completely different. Why not experience that, you know?
Yeah. For me, I'm extremely against clubs.
Really?
I'll be very honest. I feel like it's anybody who goes to clubs for the most part is wasting their time. For you guys, you've been doing this for, like I said, a very long time. You guys have been doing this for a while. I enjoy, again, all of your content. I have definitely watched it. I definitely follow you on TikTok, which I didn't know you were coming until today, I'll be honest, until Omar told me. But yeah, I definitely like everything that you guys do.
Thank you.
Let's talk about the tats. I'm very interested. So apparently, I don't know if I've heard this multiple times, but once you get one tattoo, that's it. You're addicted. It's done.
It's the truth. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, I completely agree with that. You know, you might go through a point, like even for instance, I had this neck tattoo on the side, and I'm like, yeah, that shit was so painful. Like, I'm definitely not going to be getting another neck tattoo.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 months later, I got the other side and the back of my neck done because I just was itching for it. I don't know. Something about it. It's hard to explain, but at least for me personally, that statement is true.
Yeah, definitely. I know, like, I went a little crazy for like 2 years straight in Maryland, and I ended up having like a lot of bad experiences where I did not like the work after the fact, or there was just things that were going on just from like seeing other tattoo shows or just like my own personal research, like I know that a tattoo artist wasn't supposed to do that. So it's like really no shade at all, but I don't get tattooed anymore unless it's overseas. Because something about European tattoo artists, they like really know what they're doing. It's not painful. I don't know what it is, but like every American tattoo I've gotten, it does hurt. Overseas, like I've fallen asleep multiple times on my sessions. So, you know, and it's also like a fun experience. We either get matching tattoos whenever we travel together, or we'll get something that plays off of it. So like we went to South Africa and we swam with great white sharks. So I got a great white shark tattoo on my leg, and then he got the cage diver on his leg. So always like a little cool.
I see it. And then I was even thinking as well, I was like, you guys go to so many locations. I was like, how much does this all cost altogether to make one video?
It depends, because nowadays with social media, a lot of them are free. So we're going to Virgin Voyages, or going on a Virgin Voyages cruise next week. It's like an 8-day cruise, and everything was free. Everything's complimentary. So it really just depends. Beforehand, it would be at least maybe like $3,000 for like total. We try to do like budget trips, so we usually like base our vacations off of the flight prices. So wherever's like cheapest to fly at that time that we want to go, that's where we're going. And then usually activities, it just kind of depends on the location, you know, how much that is, and you can't change activity costs. So
I think when it comes to like actually like leaving the country though, it takes us a while to plan it. Maybe 3 to 5 weeks or so, something like that.
That's usually. A while.
Yeah, because we usually have a lot of locations to narrow down to. We have like 20 different locations that we're interested in going, and then like we have to narrow it down to 10, and then from 10 to 5, and then it'll be between 2 locations, and then we finally just like rock, paper, scissors for it.
Yeah.
I say you guys just get a map, get a dart, throw it wherever it lands.
Go for it,
Into the middle of the ocean.
Yeah. As long as we haven't been there before, we'll pretty much go. So
yeah. So where have you guys been?
Oh. I usually have to like look at my Instagram page, because I really like, my memory is so bad.
Well, she's been to over 20 different countries, and I've been to 14, I believe. So I can tell you my favorite experiences were South Africa and Belize. There was plenty of other places after that and before it though, but South Africa and Belize were probably one of the best countries that I visited personally. We're like adventure travelers, so anywhere that like we can do stuff that you can't do anywhere else, like swimming with great white sharks, you can only do that in I think Australia and South Africa. So we did that there. We do skydiving. We swam with whale sharks, stingrays, barracudas, like anything adventurous. That's where we're gonna be. So
and then as for the mental health aspect, that kind of helps around with it as well.
Absolutely.
You also mentioned that, I don't know if I'm going to add that to the podcast or not, but you also mentioned that you used to smoke weed.
Yeah.
So what's your opinion on that?
It took me a while to realize how much it was holding me back. It was one of those things where like at a point in time I realized how much it was holding me back, but I kept trying to tell myself like, nah, as long as I get up early in the morning, or as long as I work out, like it'll kind of balance itself.
Complete bullshit.
Yeah, absolutely not. And then actually I got diagnosed with hyperemesis, what is it called? Cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome. So that was in 2017, and even that couldn't stop me from smoking weed. I was still smoking. And that's when I realized I had a problem. So you know what's crazy? I'm sorry. We had a really wild shrooms trip one time, and that's what made me say like, you know what? I fucking hate drugs. And then like we literally stopped doing like everything possible. After that, we stopped drinking. Because we were only doing shrooms and weed at the time. So we stopped doing everything. And then that's what got me out of it. And January of this year is when I was like, I'm gonna go like cold turkey, because I would still do it like on vacation sometimes, or I would do it like on a holiday. And since January, we haven't done diddly fucking squat, and we've been the most successful we've ever been. So yeah. And
I completely agree with that. I have people that tell me that they say, oh, Ibraheem, we focus better if we smoke weed. We do much better. No, weed makes you happy when you're not supposed to be happy. It's as simple as that. You wake up, you're not supposed to be happy when you wake up. That's completely my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm not saying be depressed. I'm not saying be sad, but you shouldn't be satisfied at any place that you're in life. Otherwise, you're not going to go ahead and proceed.
Yeah, you'll get comfortable.
And even with drinking, I'm against drinking. I'm against all that stuff. I'm a very firm believer that anything that's not supposed to be, anything that messes with your mind at a certain time will cause you to escape the world per se. So any instant gratification, any stuff like that, I'm not for it at all.
It's true.
So let's talk relationships, because you guys have been in a relationship for 3 years, all right? And you're saying this social media thing, has it affected the relationship in any way? What has happened? Has there anybody that hit on her that you got upset at, that you had to go out and fight? I'm sure there has been, right? But then as well, you guys show your faces. I've never seen his face. I don't see him on the TikToks.
Oh my gosh.
No, I don't see him on the TikToks as much.
Okay. You don't watch him enough.
Yeah, he's usually.
No, I would say not too much, honestly. Like she'll mostly just show me opening the door for her as we enter the place. But
okay,
nothing really.
Not too much.
But there's always that one clip at the very end where she's like sitting and she's like drinking the drink. She's like, this drink.
Well, to answer your question, I mean, there's definitely positives and negatives to it. I will say that like when it comes to like just like filming and editing aspects, like it can kind of get in the way because like, you know, it's more like her thing and she has like her way that she likes it to be done. So like if I try and help, sometimes, you know, we'll clash heads and, you know, like that's not what my vision was. And it's like, well, I kind of thought that it might look better this way. And she's like, no, like just never mind, let me do it. And then like she's doing it. And then like a week later, she's like, why am I the one doing everything? Like, well, you don't like the way that I do it.
I'm going to stay very quiet on that. Go ahead. I'll get myself in trouble. Go ahead.
No, it's okay.
But then again, on the other hand, obviously, it brings us closer. You know, we connect on another level this way. Because I would say that before, you know, we would have our dates, but I think that it definitely brought us a lot closer, being able to go out together more often and then experience these things. And I think we learned a lot about each other. I'd say maybe faster doing it this way because so much more often than I think the average couple, you know, we're going out, we're experiencing these things that we've never done ourselves. So we're having a lot of first times together. And then, you know, we're finding out, you know, what I enjoyed versus what she didn't based off of what we did. So I think that, you know, it definitely did help us learn each other at a faster rate than like a lot of average couples would have, which I'm very thankful for.
Okay. And then as for the attention, you're completely for it, against it, you don't care?
Yeah, I could care less. At the end of the day, like, she's with me.
Yeah.
So anybody who's attracted to her, like, they can't have her. And I know that already. So I'm not going to let it bother me at all at the end of the day. You know, she's very open with me if, like, somebody crosses that line or something, nonetheless. So, you know, as long as the trust is there, which it is, you know.
Absolutely. And my issue with social media is as well, is that you kind of have to present yourself, one, in a way that you cannot change, because if people expect you to be a certain type of way and then you do something different, they're gonna be like, what the hell is this, right?
Yeah.
That's one. And two, you kind of have to overshare. And my theory is that whatever you share will and can be used against you. Whatever you don't share, you cannot be used against you.
Yeah.
So having to be forced to, for me, I have a podcast, obviously. So having to sit on the podcast and speak about my life and this and that, nobody knows nothing about me. I own a marketing agency. I'll market for people. I do the best job possible. That's it. That's all you get to know. So for the oversharing, how are you guys kind of staying away from that? You guys don't share any personal information online?
No, I mean, it's interesting because I'm from California, and where I was at, it's always like you trust people until the trust is broken. And then I moved to the DMV area, and it's completely opposite. It's like you don't trust anybody until, you know, they've earned your trust. So moving out here, I always overshared, and I have to learn the hard way that people will use that against you from high school, from college. I'm still like learning all the time. But I like to be open because I think it creates this form of trust with my audience and like understanding like I'm going to be for real about anything. Like, yeah, of course, there's certain things like I might not talk about like my medical history, or I might not talk about, you know, every single time we get into an argument, but like sometimes I'll be on live and I'm like, yeah, me and Chauncey's got into it, you know, yesterday, but blah, blah, blah. Like, this is how we worked it out. Because sometimes, you know, when people can relate to you, when people can understand that like, oh my God, like I didn't think that they went through this, but they do go through this. It's like, yeah, we fight all the fucking time sometimes, but like we always still get through it at the same time because we're very big on communication. We are super big on like communicating. And that's why we do have that level of trust where, you know, if somebody is in his DMs, like I might not know about it or I might know about it because he's going to tell me if he feels like it overstepped the boundaries. But we also know each other enough to say, hey, don't tell me about this because I'm just going to kind of get annoyed and it's really not that important. Like, you handle that yourself. And, you know, it's part of what, you know, made me date him as well. I've had my fair share of toxic relationships where they don't know how to turn somebody down in a respectful way. He's very big on, hey, like, this is my girl. I know she's loyal to me. So, like, I can trust him on a boys trip. I can't trust any of my exes on a boys trip. He can trust me on a girl's trip and, like, vice versa. So.
Okay.
I think. Hold on, I'm looking at him like, wait a minute.
He's thinking about it. He's like, for the podcast, I'm going to say this. Outside the podcast, on the way back home. No, I'm playing. Okay, let's say, for example, a guy slides in your DMs, all right, and you say, no, sorry, I have a boyfriend. How do you feel about that, sir?
I couldn't be happier. I mean,
really?
Yeah, I mean, I know that some people think that like there's a difference between like saying sorry like makes it different, but I don't see a difference in my opinion. Like I said, I trust her at the end of the day. I know where we stand, so I'm not gonna let certain words, and I'm not gonna let it. To me, that's one of those things where it's like you're letting social media affect how you feel about something, because I think the only reason that became an issue is because people started talking about it on social media. They started bringing up how there's a difference between saying sorry and just saying no, you know,
or just not responding at all.
My thing is just responding, to be honest with you. Because if you're saying sorry, what are you apologizing for? Being with me? I'm not. Yeah. What are you sorry for, right?
Yeah.
So that's my thing with that. And then for you guys as well, you guys have had, you know, I have been doing this social media thing for how long? You said exactly?
I think 2 years now. Like we're pushing about 2 years.
For 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's some issues that you guys have come across that you could share to the world? Say, hey, maybe we wish we had done something differently. We wish we could have changed something about it.
I know it's kind of cliche to say, but like I wouldn't recommend anything different, to be honest. Like in my opinion, like we worked with what we had and we learned a lot on the way. And at this point, I think it takes that. I think you can give somebody advice all you want. At the end of the day, they're going to take pieces of it and still do it their own way. And then they're going to make their own mistakes and learn from it regardless. So from me, I will say that like I wouldn't change anything, because we are where we are today because of everything that happened. I think that the reason why we can put our foot down to brands now is because in the past, you know, being rejected so much or not knowing how to approach, you know, brands the right way, you know, we learned from that, and now we know how to put our foot down if they're not, you know, offering us what we know we deserve. So I think that for the most part, you know, you have to make those mistakes and learn from them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think relationship wise as well, I'm just kind of repeating what he said, but we wouldn't be where we're at if we didn't go through everything that we did go through. And like, yeah, of course, like there's certain arguments that I wish we didn't have to have, but at the same time, like it allowed me to understand him more, because like there was a lot of times where I'm, you know, people like to call me a dictator, because I do take control of a lot of situations, you know, just with my family background, owning restaurants. I'm normally the person on top. My mom is a very, you know, strong Black woman. So like she taught me that too. Yeah. So I'm usually like the leader of things, and I had to learn to take a back seat. Like sometimes like he is right. And you know, I have to like actually understand to take constructive criticism. And like a lot of times he sees things so differently from me that he tells me like, hey, like take a step back, look at it from this perspective. You shouldn't have done that, or you should have done that, kind of thing. So it's really helped us relationship wise. I wouldn't change a thing.
For me, I don't like when people tell me I do a good job whatsoever.
Really?
I need you to tell me that I'm doing a terrible job and tell me how. Don't tell me I'm just only doing a terrible job. I want to know why. I want to know, okay, hey, you've done this differently. I could do this in a better way. Tell me how. Right, teach me something, and that's the same thing about that as well. Because I do marketing, and it's just all trial and error. This doesn't work. Okay, try something else. This doesn't work. Okay, try something else. But it's all testing. Yeah. So, and I feel like that kind of translates to the social media aspect to it as well. For me, I've been doing this podcast for about a month and a half.
Really?
I would say a month and a little bit.
Are you doing a great job?
Not too long. It's the 9th episode I think we have on
this
right
is
now.
awesome.
Yeah. So it's been, you know, consistently one episode a week.
Yeah.
And I think consistency for me is huge. Huge. There are some people who just, like, I have a friend who also does TikTok. He uploaded one video, got a lot of traction to it. He uploaded it on, I think it was Instagram Reels, uploaded it, slept, woke up the next day. He had like 300, 400,000 views. Crazy. I was like, all right, what the hell, right? Yeah. He got scared, deleted it right away. He completely removed it. So he was like, all right, let me try it on TikTok. So he tried the same thing on TikTok, and he was just getting views. And now he's just a complete TikToker. He does it full time. He has a podcast. He does all these things as well. And he does it full time. But the thing is, there's people that gradually get to that level. There's people that just right away, they're like, damn, I know exactly what I'm doing. I want to know how I do it. So what do you think differentiates people that get the views right away and people that have to gradually get the views?
I think it's like paying attention to stuff. Like, I know when we do bicker, it's usually because like he'll tell me to do something a certain way, and I'm trying to get him to understand, like, I physically watch TikTok more than you. Like, I literally am on Instagram more than you. So like I see the trending stuff. I see how people film certain things. So that's why I don't look at his perspective the same way. But I think like drive is everything. Like, you have to have drive. If you naturally aren't a go-getter as a person, it is going to take you a lot longer to do things. And, you know, I like to consider myself one of those people. Every single thing that I put my mind to, like, I've made it happen no matter what. And because that's like, I don't allow myself to think that it's never going to happen. If I want $1 million tomorrow, it's going to be a little hard to do it, but I'm going to make it happen if that's what I say. So I think it's really just the difference of self-awareness, knowing who you are, knowing that you can do what you want to do, and then like understanding the algorithm, understanding like, you know, if this is a video that you think is going to go viral, break it down in your brain why you think that, and make sure that you have an answer to all of those. And if you don't, then, you know, let's kind of reconsider it. But if you do have an answer to all of that, push it out to the world and see what they like, how they feel about it.
And then for me, like, I'll give you an example. Every single time I walk into a store, each and every single time, I'm like, all right, I want to know what's going on in the background. Why does this cost this much? What's going on right here, right? I want to understand everything and know every small detail and why everything is shaped the way that it's shaped. I'm not just going to give them my money and walk away. No way in hell I'm going to do that. Same exact thing goes with my social media content, where I'm like, okay, I post, why did this do well? Why do people like it? Was it controversial? Were people against it? And I get a lot of controversial stuff. I mean, I'm almost interviewing you guys right now on other podcasts, because I'm really curious to learn more about you guys. Other podcasts, I'm screaming, hey, this is why stuff happens like this. This is why, right? And I've gotten a lot of backlash on a lot of comments that I said. One thing that I got backlash for is just taking accountability. So I used the example, and I was like, if you're in an abusive relationship and somebody is beating on you and you are a woman, you got to take accountability. You don't have to take responsibility for him abusing you, but you got to take accountability for being put in that same position, or for putting yourself in that position. People are like, what if people don't know this and that? So there's a lot of controversy that goes into it. But for you guys, I mean, you guys' flow is very natural. It's very, I don't know how to explain it. It's almost like you guys are just there. You're just having fun. You're living life, right? You could give a single fuck. And I genuinely value that.
Thank you.
So any last advice you want to give to people who kind of want to be in your place? Well, not in your place, rather, but you know, want to be in the same position as you.
One of my favorite things to say is just know your worth at the end of the day. You know, you got to know your worth. And I think, honestly, knowing your worth, not only will it help you like succeed in it and get those brand deals that you're looking for at that price range that you're looking for, or even just for the product that you're looking for, it'll also keep you sane and keep you from having those mental breakdowns or getting depressed. Because if you know your worth, those hate comments that you get and all that backlash that you get, it's not going to matter to you. You're going to read it and look right over it at the end of the day. So know your worth in every aspect, not just money-wise, but also, you know, emotionally at the end of the day.
I think being genuine is like the number one thing. I keep talking about like my background in California, but like it is very different from the DMV area. People do act completely opposite. And like a lot of times the great opportunities that I've gotten is just from me being a naturally like just chill person. Like I'm everything that I do is from a genuine perspective. So like it almost just like comes back to me just because that's who I am. Whereas people that like try a lot harder, or some people where they actually genuinely have like mean girl energy and stuff like that, like they don't get what they're looking for, and they don't understand that it's like the universe will literally see you for who you are, and they're going to give you back what you deserve. So I would say just be a good person. You never know who you're going to meet on the street. You could meet somebody like a homeless man tomorrow, give him food. 10 years from now, he's the president of the United States. Like you never know. So just be nice to everyone you meet. And just have a good heart. That's it.
I'm going to quote you on that. But yeah, that's the thing for me. And then for me, I'm huge on gratitude. So wherever you are, you just have to be grateful. You could be dead in a fucking ditch. You could still have to be grateful, right? That's one thing as well, because Newton's law is a thing. With every single force that comes into you, there's an equal and opposite force that goes back. So whatever energy you give into the world, it'll come back to you. You add scarcity to yourself. You say, hey, I'm valuable. I'm worth this much. Other people are going to see you the same exact way. And people can sense it. People can feel it. Right?
Because the confidence really is like an aura at the end of the day.